There's always many bead projects to tackle, so here's another just for you, the beaded pineapple. The beaded pineapple is a pattern that's quite unique. It looks like the tropical fruit many of us like to eat. This bead charm will be a treat, as it's a simple bead pattern and it's created with a ladder stitch technique. Of course, this project will be great. It's fast, fun, and easy to make. So let's get ready for this tutorial to satisfy your creative needs. Feel free to give this video a like and enjoy this episode of TurboBeads. Here's the list of everything you need to make the bead pineapple. Before starting this project, I'm just letting you know that I'm using Getty Strings crafting lace made by Pepperell Braiding Company. It's a round plastic lace that comes in a 50-yard spool, has a bit of flexibility to it, and it works great. With that being said, I'm just keeping you informed and just letting you know that this is a personal choice. It's not a sponsored video. Making the bead pineapple is pretty simple. The first thing you'll need is 3 foot of string. Then we're going to add 1 green bead to that string. Once you get that bead on the string, you're going to match up both ends of the string, pushing that bead toward the center of that string to ensure that bead is in the center. Now that you have that bead in the middle of the string, try your best to keep it there so that you can maintain the same length of string on each side. From here, we'll take both ends of the string and we're going to add 2 green beads to both strings, just like this. Once you have those 2 green beads on both strings, just like this, continue holding both ends of strings, pushing those beads toward the center of the string as well, matching up with the other beads. As you can see, this is what it should look like so far. This will be the top of our pattern, which will be the start of the leaves for the pineapple. Let's continue creating the leaves. From here, you should have 2 ends of string of equal lengths to use. So let's go ahead and we'll take 1 end of the string, then we're going to add 3 green beads to that string. Now that you have those beads on the string, you'll run those beads toward the top. Using that same end of string, we're going to run that string through the first 2 beads that were added, with that string going in the direction toward the center of the pattern. Watch close as I guide the string through these beads. Once you get that string through those beads, be sure that those beads are set in place. Hold them down, pulling that string all the way through until the beads come together. And as a quick note, if the beads slip out of place, you can always reposition the beads, pushing them closer to the other beads, pulling that string all the way through until those beads stay into place. With those 3 beads all set, we're going to take our other end of string and we're going to add 3 green beads to that string as well. When you get those beads on the string, you're going to run those beads toward the top. Just like we've done before, we're going to use that same end of string and run it back through the first 2 beads that were added to that string, with that string going in the direction toward the center of the pattern. Continue watching as I guide the string through these beads. Once you get that string through those beads, remember to be sure that those beads are set in place, holding them down while pulling the string all the way through until all of the beads come together. This is what everything should look like so far. From here, we'll need to create a row of beads. Creating a row of beads is pretty simple. We'll start out by taking 1 end of the string and we're going to add 3 green beads to that string. Now that we have those beads on the string, we're going to take our other end of string and we're going to run it through those beads as well, going in the opposite direction. So once you get that string through all of those beads, with both ends of string coming out of each end, you'll pull both ends of the string until you've reached the top, bringing all of those beads together. Now that we've finished this row, we'll continue building on the leaves for this pineapple. We'll take 1 end of the string and we're going to add 2 green beads to that string. With those beads on the string, you'll run those beads toward the top. Using that same end of string, we're going to run that string back through the first bead that was added to that string, with that string going in the direction towards the pattern. Continue watching as I guide the string through this bead. Again, when you get that string through that bead, remember to hold that bead down in place, pulling that string all the way through until the beads come together. As I'll be sure to mention, be sure that those beads are set in place, pulling that string just enough, keeping those beads in a tight formation. From here, just like we've done before, we're going to take the other end of string and we're going to add 2 green beads to that string, running those beads toward the top as well. Using that same end of string, we're going to run that string back through the first bead that was added to that string, going in the direction toward the pattern. Continue watching as I guide the string through that bead. When you get that string through that bead, remember to hold it down in place, pulling that string all the way through until the beads come together. Also, being sure to pull that string just enough to keep those beads in a tight formation. At this point in the pattern, it should be pretty straightforward. We'll just create rows of beads to make up the image of the pineapple. Creating these next rows, I'll be using the straw technique. So we'll take a straw and split it down the center by cutting it with scissors. So just watch close as I carefully cut the straw down the center. Splitting the straw down the center will make it easier to add beads to it. Basically, what we're doing is using the straw as a stabilizer for the rows of beads, keeping them straight, aligned, and in place. With that straw split through the center, we're going to add 3 yellow beads to that straw. Once you get those beads on that straw, then we're going to carefully cut off the end of that straw, keeping it from showing through the sides. As you can see, the straw is hidden within these beads, and this row of beads is stabilized as well. So now we can take one end of the string and add those line of stabilized beads to that string. Now that we have those beads on the string, we're going to take our other end of string and we're going to run it through all of those beads as well, going in the opposite direction. Continue watching as I guide the string through these beads. Like we've done before, once you get that string through all of those beads, with both ends of string coming out of each side, you'll pull both ends of the string until you've reached the top, bringing all of those beads together. From here, we'll just continue repeating the same steps, creating additional rows for this pattern. By using the straw technique, remember, you'll add your beads to that straw. Once you get your beads on that straw, you'll carefully cut off the ends of that straw, keeping it from showing to the sides. Once you have that row of stabilized beads, you'll take one end of the string and you're going to add your beads to that string. Once you get those beads on that string, you'll take your other end of string and you're going to run it through all of those beads as well, going in the opposite direction. Again, once you have both ends of the string through those beads, with both ends of string coming out of each side, you'll pull both ends of the string until you've reached the top, bringing all of those beads together. So just continue repeating the same steps, creating additional rows, following the pattern as seen at the top of the screen. With this visual, you can see that creating this pattern should be as easy as it seems, with its simple steps of creating rows of yellow beads that make up the shape of the pineapple and the green beads that represent the leaves. It's another perfect fruit that looks nutritious and delicious. So leave a comment below letting me know what are some of your favorite fruits. Once you finish the 7th and final row, we'll tie off each end of string with a knot to lock all of those beads into place. When tying your string together, be sure that your knot is tied nice and secure to ensure that everything stays locked into place and holds together. As I should mention, feel free to tie the knot as many times as you feel is necessary to ensure that everything is secure, as our objective is to tie off each end of strings with knots that are solid and secure, keeping everything locked into place and held together. Once your string is tied and everything is locked into place, all that is left is to carefully cut off the tied loose ends of string, and your beaded pineapple is now complete. And there you have it, another bead design that looks fine, that was fun to make. Hopefully this tutorial was helpful and you can create one just as great. If there's anything you would like to add, requests or suggestions, feel free to leave a comment below. And if you are new or you just haven't already, don't forget that you can always subscribe if you want to be notified for more bead tutorials just like this one. Hoping you'll tune in for the next one to satisfy your creative needs. Until next time, as always, thanks for watching TurboBeads.